Live from Dead Pit Studios South. Welcome to No News is Good News, where the news comes first, even if it sucks. Your shitty news reporters are Uncle Bill, Stuntman Mark, and Rambo Rough Life.
Welcome to the inaugural edition of No News is Good News, the show where pretty much all the news is not going to be good. It's going to be bad, or maybe it won't be. Maybe some of us will think it's bad, awful even, and some of us will disagree. But regardless, we're going to talk about all types of different stuff on this show, not just like horror films. We're going to talk about, regular films, action films. On this particular show, we're going to be talking about Star Wars, Disney, all kinds of shit like that. And we're just going to probably rant about a ton of stuff that's coming up in the entertainment industry.
And I'm Bill O'Reilly, so we do live. Fuck it. We do live. Fuck it.
That's right. That's the only way we can do it is live because I edit and shit. So that's what we're going to be doing. Join me for this endeavor to see how this goes over is Stuntman Mark and Rambo Ref for Life. Always good to have you guys here. Always good. We're going to talk about some news and some craziness. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get into it, especially like one of the bigger stories to come out in a while. But before we get started, like how you guys doing? What's going on in the worlds of you guys?
You take it, Stuntman Mark. You first.
Not a whole lot. Actually, really looking forward to this show. There's some pretty cool stuff we're going to talk about, but we'll see how the chat reacts to it all.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton. There's going to be a ton of reactions. By the way, for the chat, if you want to throw out stories that you've seen lately that you think are like worthy or unworthy, however you want to look at it, like we'll definitely pull those up and talk about them as well. So yeah, let's see who we got in here though. We've got Kingslayer, TJ Frizzy, Crash 517, Ryan Hop, Scratch Burno, Subjective Perspective Collective, Carlos, Dark Metal Spider, Cole Warner's Movie and Game Chamber. Heck yeah, Cole Warner is an awesome dude. So Jesus, yeah, okay. There's actually like stuff coming in already. I actually had this as a story anyway. So shit, let's just get into it, I guess, man. The first story, it's already been posted by Cole Warner, man. We won't waste any time. Is Foz is in here. How you doing, Foz? Thoughts on the horror video game Five Nights at Freddy's FNAF for you fucking hipsters having a movie adaptation by Blumhouse coming out this October.
I saw the movie. It's called Willy's Wonderland. Just to watch that.
I was thinking about that when I saw that story, man. I was like, yeah, they made that. Like they kind of got around it and everything, but I feel like they beat them to the punch a little bit on that.
Yeah, it's not the phenomenon it was. Like they're so late with this. I mean, what else can you say?
Do you know why, by the way?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you know why it took them this long? I know it has to be rights or something for these Five Nights at Freddy's things, because like that should have been made.
One guy made it and one guy owned it, and apparently it just took a while for them to come up with, I guess, a story for this fucking movie or something. And yeah, I mean, the time has passed. It's like when they did the Slender Man, the movie, and no one gave a rat's ass.
Right.
It came and went like the wind. And especially when something like Willy's Wonderland has come out, it's just, or something crappier like I've heard from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Gusher Honeys. I don't care about I know of the game. People played the game. It's not as popular as it once was. There's name recognition. But it's also Bumhouse, so I don't care about Bumhouse. The last time they was Halloween Ends. Fuck Bumhouse.
Well, I know, like, definitely depending on how you feel about Bloomhouse, then this would be, horrible news. And
Right.
who the fuck is playing Five Nights at Freddy's anymore? By the way, like, that was
Markiplier.
That's my whole thing. Like, it's not even the hot game it once was. There's a lot of other games that like have a more original story and seem like they would be much more entertaining to be made as a film. So with this, I'm probably going to skip it. I can't see anybody like jumping out of their chair at home to like rush to the theater to go see something like this. It's just pointless.
no, it's crazy to me, man. Like that would be all of a sudden that would be the big thing that they're going to try to do. And actually, there was a couple of movies very similar that kind of ripped off the Five Nights at Freddy's thing that did, Willy's Wonderland being the biggest one, but a couple of them did that whole thing too. And it's just that time has come and gone, I'm afraid. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my thoughts on that. Kentucky Kunk Tater's in here. Steve Peekaboo is in here. That's good. Oh God. Falls Rotten says he needs an F-Zero game. You might fucking get one. Yeah, the way things are going, you might get one of those soon. Here's the thing, too. This wasn't a topic that I was going to bring up, but just to discuss it, like the Mario Brothers movie made fucking $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is that what we're going to get? I have a feeling that's what we're going to get now for about the next 5 years. There's just a series of animated video game adaptations.
Or just adaptations for games in general. A friend of mine had been talking to me about that. He's like, once the whole like MCU, DCU stuff, all this stuff starts to die down a bit, the next thing that's going to be the trend would be video game adaptations. And there's so many in production. I mean, there's this. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more Last of Us, Twisted Metal even. I mean, list goes on and on. There's a lot of stuff coming out video game wise. So, I mean, I'm a video gamer. I mean, I love it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm interested in the other stuff, not so much the Five Nights at Freddy's, though.
Manic Exorcism says he's ashamed to admit that he used to collect the Five Nights at Freddy's figures. I mean, wow. I can't say shit to anybody about collecting figures. Like, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Afro Wells in here. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Rapid Kirby 3K. Good to see you in here.
The Mario Brothers movie, no Bob Hoskins, no deal. Stick with the original.
Is that the kicker, man? That's what fucking. I heard an interesting story about that. You probably already know this, Matt, about the whole Mario Brothers thing. So Tom Hanks was originally supposed to be the guy that played Mario in that fucking movie. And apparently he wanted too much money, or they thought he wanted too much money. And so their next choice was Bob Hoskins. Like, how do you... I'm assuming that was around the time when Who Framed Roger Rabbit, or like, it was really, really popular. Or like,
because that came out 88, and probably the pre-production, because it also came out 93, so they probably started like 91, 92. So yeah, that was around the time of Who Framed Roger Rabbit's success. I like that movie for how insane it is, how weird it is. It's not a Mario Bros. Movie. I think it's the better for it. I think it's just an insane Blade Runner mixed in with a kids movie, mixed in with crazy Dennis Hopper on speed or whatever. Talking about dinosaur shit.
The part about that movie that got me, man, and I don't know, like, this has always confused the piss out of me, but okay. So as far as I can tell, and I may be wrong because I can't make any sense out of that movie, but as far as I can tell, one of the plots of that movie is that dinosaurs were evolving into human beings. And that was how you got like Dennis Hopper. Like, he was
meteorite hit,
yes.
Split into 2 dimensions. One dimension became from apes to man. They came from dinosaurs to man. And so that's when they went into the doorway to their Blade Runner dinosaur world.
Okay. So that's always confused me. Here's the only reason it confused me is because evolution of like a monkey into a man makes sense because they kind of look alike. Evolutions of a dinosaur into a fucking man doesn't make any sense at all. Like there's no like relationship at all to those two things. Not to mention the
True.
fact.
Yeah.
This is the other part about that movie too. I can go on all fucking day about that movie. They weren't even brothers. Mario and Luigi weren't even goddamn brothers in that movie.
It was Mario and Luigi Mario.
Yeah,
last name.
Yeah, and
That's brothers of some sort.
Wasn't he like the adopted or something like that? Luigi was adopted.
Yeah,
there was some
Yeah.
crazy. I need to watch that movie again because it's just so
Mario and Luigi Mario. There's 3 Marios.
I mean, honestly, you imagine like a group of writers like sitting around just being like, okay, we got this fucking immensely popular video game. It's called Super Mario Brothers. We can't make a movie about it because it's just about a guy running around like breaking bricks and shit. So we got to change like a couple things. I would imagine the one thing you wouldn't want to change is the fact they're fucking brothers since it's in the title of the movie. But they did.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyway. The Super Mario 93 movie is funny. Yeah, that's one way to describe it. I mean,
I'll defend that damn movie as crazy as because I'm like the game itself. It's like it's a guy eating mushrooms to get 10 feet taller or getting flowers to shoot. You can't make that. I don't care if it's Terry Gilliam. No one can make that live action work, even if you're on acid. And from what I understand, it's just like the new movie is just a bunch of levels of the game put together. Whether that's good or bad, that's for people who see it. So I like the creativity of the 93 film. I appreciate creativity when it's like, we can't make a fucking movie of this. So just go nuts.
I mean, that is
I
one
wish
thing.
more movies went nuts.
That's one thing I'll give them, man. Like a lot of people bitch about it not being anything like the game, but how the hell could it be anything like the game? Like, how you gonna make a movie on that game? Like, that's impossible.
Well, apparently that's what they did with this, and people are still complaining that it's just there's no story. It's just, I'm like, yeah, that's the game. There is no story. It's just hidden rocks. I mean, hidden bricks.
Save the princess. I mean, that's not a story.
Yeah, no.
You have a tattoo and you become a cat. I mean, where the hell happens that movie?
All right, guys, this is a question for you two, probably more so than me, because I don't have a shit all idea about video games anymore. I know Mark plays a lot, and I know that Matt plays a lot too. What video game should be animated TV series?
None. Oh no.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, most of the best games that have ever been made, at least in terms of story wise, like you'd want to see those as a live action or some kind of like TV series adaptation. A cartoon though, I'm not sure. I couldn't really answer that.
I know
I would say none.
All right, we'll skip the fuck out of that question. We'll go to Perry, who says, "What are your thoughts on Endeavor acquiring the WWE and Vince Gomez Adams McMahon?"
I mean, I'm glad they didn't sell it to Disney.
Yeah, me too. Or Saudi Arabia.
Right.
There was a whole thing.
I think
I wish they sold Saudi Arabia. That would have been hilarious. I'd be laughing my ass off.
It would have been great.
We all
like the backlash and shit that they would have gotten from that.
I mean, Vince being involved in creative is probably the worst thing to ever happen to them again. Him leaving was truly an eye opener for like what you could do with the product without having him there. But man, like that Raw after
Why
Mania,
does he look like Gomez Adams, by the way? Why does he look like that?
Nobody knows, man. Nobody knows what he's trying to accomplish.
That's his
by
style,
that
man.
Look at all.
He's got a mustache to twitch and this evil whiplash sort of demon.
Fucking, yeah.
His twist.
I can't figure it out. I think that's a good indicator of what's wrong with the WWE though, is because I guarantee you nobody around him was like, hey, like, God damn it, that looks ridiculous. Like, please do something else. Like, and that's the way it is in all of WWE. He comes up with these horrible ideas and nobody ever can tell him that he's like wrong. And that's that's the whole problem. So Triple H comes in. He takes over for a little while. Things go great in everybody's opinion. Any kind of wrestling fan that I've talked to, things go better with, while it's under Triple H. But they bring his ass back not even a year after all that. And we're just going to be right back to square one. Now, here's the thing, the fact that Endeavor like gets them and they end up getting MMA at the same time. Now that poses a question to me of like, are they going to do crossover shit? They'd about have to, right? Like
Dana White kind of shot the idea down. I mean, he wasn't completely like opposed to it, but he's like, for now, like I can't see it happening. We're going to do our thing over here. They'll be over there. And that's the way it's going to be. But he didn't completely outright dismiss it though. We'll see. Maybe if it's the right name.
But how would you do a crossover? Like have a UFC fight where people dress as demons and the cells on fire?
That's a real
UFC fight.
I tell you how they do it, Matt. Brawl for All 2. Let's bring it back. Bring it back. Somebody gets injured. It's gonna be great. No,
I will only tell you that if you did Jim Cornette and Vince Russo in the ring together, no holds barred.
There you go.
And whatever's blood's left will probably be Russo's and Cornette.
I'm fairly certain Jim Cornette would fucking kill Russo. So let's hold on a second. So local 6-6 TV is in here. Preminator, Patrick joined, Joe Stradamus, Alpha Romero's in here. Good to see you. Summertime Blues. I see a couple other people, but I hate the way this chat fucking refreshes, so I can't. Ryan, several other people. Okay. In terms of like WWE though, right now, nobody knows what's going to happen. I would about assume that it'll be shitty again for a long, long time until something happens to Vince. Unfortunately, that's the only way anything's going to change.
Like CM Punk said.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. I don't watch this stuff. I know you don't either, UB. But for a fan who's been in the past, let's say you have a guy who's popular, like Cody Rhodes, and you build this story up, but then you have him lose at WrestleMania, and then the night after you have him treat like a jobber where Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of him. What in your fan for 10 years, 20, 30, ever since as a kid, do you imagine is the thinking behind that? Is it sometimes is events just be like that guy talks shit about me, so I'm going to make him pay at least a little bit of that, a little bit? Because I think Vince is that vindictive. I think that's more than his brain cells, or something else.
Sometimes I think it is that. Like, I mean, he's well known for just fucking with people,
being petty.
Just to be fucking with them. Cody Rhodes was one of those guys too, as a matter of fact. Like, Vince gets it in his head. A lot of times that somebody says something that doesn't set well with him, and you'll end up with like a fucking gimmick like Dusty Rhodes or something like that.
Stardust.
That's just what'll happen. And then I think the worst thing that ever happened to wrestling was the 50-50 booking bullshit. Like that was one of the worst for me, where it didn't matter if you won or lost, and they just kind of fucking, went back and forth and back and forth. There's this endless storyline of bullshit that never like paid off to anything. And they're still kind of doing that to this day with Roman Reigns, which is really irritating. But I mean, it's what a lot of people think he should just stay champion forever, I guess. And that went over so well with fucking Goldberg. So anyway, I don't want to spend all our time talking about wrestling. I brought some stories. I'm sure you guys brought some stories too.
Oh yeah.
I'll just go ahead and because I was talking to Matt about this before the show started. This would tickle me. I couldn't help it. So I watched the trailer. If you haven't watched it, there's a new trailer out for the new Indiana Jones movie, which is coming out soon. Indiana
That's the dial
Jones
for Jericho.
and the dial 911. No, it's the dial of destiny. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm halfway excited about this movie, and then I'm halfway like, how in God's name are they going to pull this off? Because I looked this up just because I was curious before we did the show. When this movie premieres, Harrison Ford will be 81 years old. Like, how, man?
You saw in the trailer, it was a CGI body and his face on a horse. It wasn't even him on a horse. It was him and a horse in a CGI subway, like a train right behind him. The horse outruns the train and going to a CGI parade and CGI body. There's his face put on another guy's body while Sympathy for the Devil's playing, because for some reason Sympathy for the Devil is Indiana Jones. How?
I couldn't figure that out either. We were talking about that, man, and like, I think at this point they've just got such a formula for these trailers that they're just like, pick any fucking like 60 song. I don't give a shit what it is, and like we'll put it over the because that didn't make any sense at all with like what was going on in that trailer. But you have to have an old 60s or 70s song, because that's what fucking made Guardians of the Galaxy so fucking popular. So let's bring that shit in. And even if it doesn't make sense.
That's like, okay, there's a new Alien movie coming out, and then I put in AC/DC's You Shoot Me All Night Long for some fucking reason.
That would be fucking awesome, Rambo. I would watch that movie in a heartbeat. If you had like, if it just went into to fucking like Big Balls or the Jack or something like right over top of an Aliens movie, I would go and see it.
You got the Jack.
But I'm assuming though that it's just going to be tons of CG, because there's no other way that they can make. He's just not able to do that shit.
Nope.
No.
Like an 81-year-old man does not need to be running around doing anything.
And it's the longest one. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Right. I saw that too.
Because every movie's got to be longer. Every movie's got to be 2.5, 3 hours long for some reason.
But Rambo, it's gonna be an epic. It's got to be long.
It's an epic right now. Yeah, you've got
Epically
to.
shitty.
So Business Affairs says the current audience doesn't mind CGI bodies. Look at how they ate up those Spider-Man movies. That's true. True.
Yeah, and Marvel. Yeah, Marvel. Not just Spider-Man, all Marvel films, really.
Alpha says all modern trailers look exactly the same. They really do. Like watching that trailer, I was like, Jesus Christ! I feel like I've seen this like 50 times before. Like
they're all cut by the same guy.
It's fucking brutal to try to watch those, man.
Stuntman, what do you think of Indy 5, by the way?
I mean, I like the franchise and all, but like, it seems unnecessary. This latest one, like, it just, I had no idea it would be something like that. I mean, I like James Mangold for the most part. I mean, he's somewhat hit and miss. But this one looks kind of more on the direction of a miss. I think it's just the CGI. It's just not doing it for me at all. Like, I'm not a fan. I mean, that's sort of how I feel about the Heat 2 stuff. I mean, another unnecessary sequel. They're talking about doing like de-aging for the characters. I'm like, really?
Wait, is there seriously going to be a Heat 2?
So there's a sequel novel that Michael Mann did, and there's another writer on it. But anyway, he wants to do the adaptation of it. So yes, it's happening. And they're probably not right away, but you know, because he's working on something right now with Adam Driver.
Attempt to get back Pacino and how's that going to work out?
Yeah, so that's where the de-aging would come into play. It's supposed to be set in like the present and the past. You'll see young De Niro,
Yeah.
a little bit of him, not a
Yeah.
lot. But the worst part, like, is the whole thing with bringing back Val Kilmer. I liked Val Kilmer as an actor, but like, have they not seen like what he looks like now and his whole thing with his voice? I know they like had like some AI tech like fix his voice or something like that, but man, to DH even Pacino, I mean, like he's probably got to be close to the same age as De Niro. Like, are you gonna DH him too? Like, what's I don't know. I didn't read the novel. Anybody in the chat read the Heat 2 novel? I'd like to know if it's
Why would
good,
De,
but
why
go
would De
ahead.
Niro be in it? He's dead. Character
Well,
died.
that would be the past, I guess. Like, right?
But
Well,
what,
the rumor
why
was
do you
that
need to
Adam
know more about
Driver
his
was
character?
again. I don't know. I haven't read it, but the rumor was that Adam Driver is going to be like possibly a young De Niro. But then I saw the stuff about de aging, so I don't know what direction they're going to go in. I mean,
Adam,
Michael Mann's not usually one for like making bad stuff, but I mean, I don't know.
They're gonna pull a fucking cigarette smoker man on this one. They're gonna be like, he's still alive, kidding around.
I don't know. Michael Mann's recent work, I saw the Black Hat. For those who didn't see it, probably no one did. That's one of the most boring movies you'll see in a while. With Chris Hemsworth, Black Hat. Go Less Staying Awake if you watch that one.
Yeah, I
that was the
didn't
last
watch it
Michael
yet.
Mann film. So.
Oh wow.
We've got a super chat here, Matt, and this one's directed towards you.
Oh shit.
Which do you like better?
You don't know what he's talking about.
Godzilla 2014 or God Raiga versus King Oga, and why?
Why? Not the second one,
It's
because
like a fucking essay you had in college or something.
that second one he mentions, it's a monster movie where the guy was smart enough that every monster battle, right? Usually that's what you go see those movies for, right? Usually. Imagine every single one of them. There's filters like this that you can't see anything. So it's like fireworks and filters and little explosions covering everything. So you literally have to go like this to see any battles. And then randomly there'll be like a female fight force, but the filter's blue for no reason. And there's also a command center that for some reason is only G.I. Joe figures talking in text. The rest of the movie is real people, but this one command center, it's people with G.I. Joe figures, and they talk via text. Why? It's a guy trying to make a bad movie, and when you try to make a bad movie on purpose, that can get really annoying.
Yeah,
It
it never works.
It's like Sharknado. No. So that's why the Godzilla actually has a budget. This is wanting to be Neil Breen, want to be The Room, and it fails. So that's why, Bobby.
The problem is good bad movies come from like somebody honestly trying to do something good that just have no idea that what they're doing is awful. When you try to make something awful, it just comes across as just shallow and there's just something wrong with it. It doesn't play the same way. So please stop trying to make those fucking movies like that where it's actually,
That's probably, and I haven't seen, it's probably like that Winnie the Pooh movie. I haven't seen it, but the trailers I've seen, it seems the same way. Maybe I'm wrong, but everyone I've talked to has said it's an awful film, and I'm not surprised.
It's not good.
But did you see it?
Yeah, it's not good.
I can imagine it wouldn't be.
I struggled to make it through. It's awful.
All right, Mark. So what do you got? I know you had to bring some stories that you.
Well, Matt just talked about like a director whose last movies weren't so good. This next director is remaking Witchboard, and it's Chuck Russell. And
The Blob,
Nightmare 3,
yep.
Eraser, The Mask, even, which I like. But his latter works were not good at all. I don't know if you guys have seen that Paradise City movie. I think it starred Travolta and Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis?
That's right.
Heard of it.
Terrible film. It's like he had so many great films. Like he was on a hot streak for a while, and then like he left. He even actually did some TV. He did an episode of Fringe that I liked. That was, I think, around like 2010. But I mean, his more recent stuff is just really bad, and I'd rather not see him touch a movie. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of Witchboard. I think it's a fine movie. It's cool, but
It's okay. It's not. Yeah.
yeah. What's the
Yeah, I
point?
enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I mean, to remake that now, I just shook my head. I'm like, that's what he's interested in doing. He's gonna
It really
write and
that
direct?
really doesn't make any sense if you think about it. Because I mean, who the fuck remembers Witchboard? Like, if you're going for
Right.
name recognition, like who's ever going to know that movie? Even, and it seems like whenever they've tried to do that in the past with certain movies, like they don't make any money. So what's the real point?
I have no idea.
I would assume Chuck Russell is taking a job because when was the last? I mean, if he worked on that movie with Bruce Willis and Travolta, he's not really getting a lot of good offers for movies.
That's true.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and what are a lot of horror films? There's The Conjuring. Is there anything similar, somewhat? Okay, it's not a Ouija board, but it's a witch board. And then maybe we can get some suckers who have nostalgia for it. Maybe even some of them will talk about because they recognize it, even in a small print. And that'll be still more recognizable than a brand new property or a brand new title. So Slim will be better than none. And I think Chuck Russell was just getting a paycheck. I would assume that's the only reason, because again, it's not like he's getting a lot of good offers from like studio pictures. He's not getting, the Blob remake. He's not getting Eraser. He's not getting those movies, The Mask. He's getting Paradise City.
I mean, that's
And not
such
Guns N' Roses.
no, that's such a shame. Though, man. That he
Yeah.
made like so many great like horror films in the 80s, and now he's reduced to a Witchboard remake.
Yeah, it was really sad to read that. I was
Why not
just
just
so down about
fucking
that.
just
Like,
remake Witch Trap then if you're going to do that? I mean, it wouldn't matter. Like, it's the same amount of name recognition. Like, let's do whatever. Oh, his scratch says Travolta might end up in the Witchboard remake, which is an automatic winner. Let's see. Oh God, they're making another Blob. Had you heard this?
No, I mean they've been trying for years and years. I remember back in the day it was going to have Sam Jackson in it, then Rob Zombie's going to direct it. Then the guy who made Con Air was going to direct it with Sam Jackson starring, and then they just fell through.
Oh God, Jurassic
Thankfully.
Park. Rob Zombie was making the Blob remake with hillbillies. That'd be killer. The Blob is like, fuck you, fucking hell, bitch.
The plot of that was like there was a monument and people would pray to it, and then they turned to blob creatures. So that'd be like his take on the Blob, something like that. Because I've seen
what it
artwork
was?
that people.
I mean, why not at this
Yeah,
point?
something like there's some kind of monuments, and they like people like pray to it like a cult, and then they turn to like slime creatures. They probably curse a lot too, and they probably say,
"Oh, of course."
Slime
Can we all agree that just like Rob Zombie's one of the worst fucking writers of all time, of anybody that ever got like popular? Like he can't. If it's not something that he's already seen done, like he cannot come up with an idea that works to save his life. Like if it's an original idea, it's not gonna happen. I agree, Andrew. They should just make Die versus Lethal Weapon at this point.
We're not too far off from that.
No, we're not.
There's supposed to be another one of those at some point.
Oh, it's going to end up
Lethal
being
Weapon
like
5.
It's going to end up being just like It's Always Sunny. I think that'll be the the way that it looks. This is a good question. Will Eli Roth's Thanksgiving be any good? That's another one that seems a little too late, like the Five Nights at Freddy movie.
I hope so. I mean, I want it to be good. I'll look for anybody in the chat. We're not just on here bitching. Like, we want to be proven wrong. I think it's safe for all of us to say that. If a movie's good, we'll give it the credit. But like something like that, that faux trailer is so fun to watch. And like, I don't know if you really, maybe the idea of it is better than actually getting it. You don't want the faux trailer to be better than the actual movie or the trailer that they're probably going to release for this version of the movie.
That's true. Like, I got to imagine that anything that they make would be disappointing at this point just because the trailer was so amazing. Like, it's not going to live up to the hype of that fucking trailer.
Yeah.
I can kind of see that. Local 66 TV says often the success of something is just as much about the time the films were made as the overarching elements of that thing, but the remakes nowadays have been major flops because they're all YOLO. YOLO.
Oh, you only live once?
Yes.
Hmm.
Matt says he knows you're going to roll your eyes about this, but he's seeing Ari Aster's new film,
now.
Bo is Afraid, next week on IMAX. It's 3 hours. Goddamn, pack a lunch and get like a blanket.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not watching any Joaquin Phoenix film that's 3 fucking hours long. I'm just not doing it. Like, that's too much drama and like acting for me to comprehend. It's like the fucking Exorcist over here. He's gone into a seizure, y'all. Talking about Ari Aster.
Oh,
There's got to be one A24 movie you like, Matt.
not horror. Like I like
Okay.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
And I liked The Disaster Artist. But I can't help it. When I watch Hereditary, I keep they do the Burger King crown at the end, where the kid just has the Burger King crown, and it just when the head comes off like a Pez dispenser, I laugh my ass off. I'm not supposed to. I can't help it with Midsommar when the fucking girl dies, and the next scene is a 10-minute conversation about a fucking essay paper. We just saw this girl die, and we're worried about essay paper. Will we get an A on it? I'm like, or the beginning where the girl does a MacGyver to put all these 18 pipes around. It just fucking, I can't help it. It's just not for me.
So you're excited about this one then? Sorry. Actually, I just bought full disclosure, I just bought The Lighthouse. That's one of my favorite, like, I don't know. That movie's insane. And like Robert Eggers is one of my favorite directors from that company and everything. And with it came like a little like postcard thing of the Bo is Afraid, like a clip from the movie or whatever. I have no idea what it's about. It does not look like something that I would want to watch. Like, in all honesty, I like movies that people like go ape shit about like that. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I watched that movie and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this shit's just stupid. Like, come on, man. And like somebody said this and like everybody jumped up their ass about it, but it's absolutely true. Nobody is going to want to watch that movie in like 5 years. Like, you'll never hear a goddamn thing about that movie in 5 years. Like, people will just be like, fucking crazy movie, like where the hot dogs for fingers or whatever. That'll be it. You'll never see.
See, now that's an A24 film I like. So there you go. Something more. There you go. I like that more than The Lighthouse, where the guy's jerking off and almost come on Batman's face.
Don't you dare talk about fucking. Don't you dare talk about William Dafoe.
Did that not happen or not, Stuntman Mark?
Yeah, it did.
It happened, yeah.
Okay.
I like the movie too, though. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean about the A24 horror.
Oh God, I don't even want to get into conversation about shit being woke right now, especially not with like fucking people shooting Bud Lights and shit. Around here, that's like a goddamn sport now, just blowing up bottles of Bud Light.
CT mentioned there's maybe like the Von Erich story. Yeah, that story, that would be interesting because I know bits of that story. That would be interesting. Because again, I like Uncut Gems. I liked like a disaster artist, that would be interesting because that is a crazy, tragic story. Like that would be maybe interesting. The Von Erichs, because that I mean,
yeah.
for those who don't know, yeah.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Like, I think that would be an amazing film because there's so much craziness that happened in that family and so much tragedy too. Like that, it would. I mean, you don't really need to add any drama to that story, man. It's already got like all the drama in the world. All right, Matt. Do you have a story?
One story I found is since not yet on Star Wars, I'm sure that'll come later, but another thing with Disney is all the problems they're having because for those who don't know, they lost a lot of money last year. And even their Disney Plus streaming is not doing as well as they hope. So they cut 7,000 jobs because they're trying to cut 5.5 billion in costs because apparently they're spending too much money on all these Disney Plus shows, all the Marvel superhero shows that people are not liking as much as they think, or they're getting subscribers but not as many as they think. And then there's a 2023 shareholder meeting on April 3rd. And during the meeting, people were able to make phone calls to people like Bob Iger, who's the new guy now. He came back. Sounds like a horror movie. He came back. And they were invited to share criticism and concerns. And a guy mentioned, hey, here's the elephant in the room. Stop with all of these ideologies you're forcing people in, including, I can't say the word because you don't like it, but it rhymes with broom. Children were, for those who don't know, for example, there was the San Francisco men's chorus, and they literally said lines like, we'll convert your kids bit by bit, quietly and subtly, you'll barely notice. And like, this is them actually saying, and now they said it was a joke, but it's like, when you're saying stuff like that, people are going to be like, what the hell are you guys talking about? I mean, and then Disney's saying like, this is A-okay. I mean, that's just really strange to go about. And that's one of the reasons why one of many reasons where people go, what the hell are you doing, Disney? Just family, entertainment, theme parks, that's it. So people are just getting upset more and more to the point they're even getting into phone calls, and there's the stockholders. One of the many reasons why they get, in deep shit in the past couple of years. And I'm trying to be safe for YouTube, so there you go. But Disney and these companies have to realize that the more you keep doing this, there are ways to do it the right way. You're doing it in such a pretentious sledgehammer way. And you gotta stop and put a little common sense every once in a while and go, is this the right way to do it? Or do people just want to go and just watch a damn movie and not be lectured, whether it's a family film or a kid's film or whatever the case?
I really can't figure out what the fuck Disney's doing anymore. Just on like any level when it comes to like, I think they're trying to appeal to everybody, like just in any way that they can. And I don't really think they have an identity anymore. I think that's a big part of the problem. Like they don't like really, nobody knows what they stand for exactly except money. And I think that might be what they stand for, is just like it's getting as much money as humanly possible. So it all seems fake. Like that's the big problem with Disney. They just seem completely fake about what they're doing. They seem like if it came out, next week that, a large portion of the population, wanted to jam tubas up their ass, that Disney would have a movie with somebody like an animated character jamming a tuba up their ass. Like, and that just seems to be like their kind of philosophy. Like, so there's nobody really in control of that thing. They're just all like, they're moving back and forth with whatever, like they think the majority of people want to see. And that's a horrible model for like a company, really. Like you want to be on top of things. You don't want to be just the one that kind of goes with the tide of whatever the fuck is going on at the time. And it makes you look super kind of weak too. I give that to Vince. Like he don't give a fuck what's going on. Like he's gonna do whatever like he wants to do at that time, whatever he thinks is right. They don't have a Vince at Disney. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
So just straight off the bat, Wes is like, fuck Disney. Oh God.
Because they're very two-faced. The thing with Disney is they're very hypocritical. They say all these statures, all these astutes of representation, all this other stuff. But then if it makes them money, they'll let that go. Whether you like the new Star Wars or not, I did not. Like when they went to China, and here's a person who happens to be black, but he's got to be this small on the poster because apparently in China, they don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Disney did it. So, like, where's your moral high horse? You didn't care because it made you more money. And that's, like you said, it's all about the money. That's all they care about, the money. If it fits their money bag, then they will, or they're, not just their money bag, but if they get better notes on Twitter or Tweet or whatever the hell.
That's true. I'm just picturing Vince saying this. That Mickey is good shit, pal. Oh God. Anime. I'm assuming that Ryan means anime better. Disney is better. Anime is better than Disney.
Better than Disney
There we
films,
go.
what he's saying.
So you're saying Disney's out here making the modern day exploitation movies? That's the thing. I'm not entirely sure what the hell Disney's making anymore, other than just like whatever they think is going to appeal to like the popular view at that time. That's what they're going to make.
Yeah, I mean, it seems more so like a lot of recycled ideas. Them trying to make live action stuff out of animated stuff that was successful in the past.
Yeah.
The MCU stuff isn't really doing as well as it once was. I actually took some time out just to check the box office of all the, I think it's like 6 of the last movies that they've done.
Yeah.
They're not even like coming close to what the previous films made. They're actually making significantly less. Now they're not losing money yet, but the writing's on the wall. And I think the only thing that did make a whole lot of money out of all the MCU stuff was Spider-Man, but that's mostly Sony. I mean, they share the property with them. So
let me ask you this. What happens when they start losing money? Because it's an inevitability coming up soon. Do you think they just switch to like video games? Do you think like, I mean, what would be the next step? I've been ready for that shit to die off forever now. I couldn't even tell how happy I would be.
Some type of desperate move. I don't know what the desperate move would be. Bring back Robert Downey Jr.'s character from the grave. Like, bring any nostalgia that people got into the business before. Just any amount of heavy-handed nostalgia bait, desperation to try to please come back to us, please.
Probably more layoffs, and then more than likely them selling properties that they feel are expendable just to make up for lack of revenue, not even necessarily lost revenue on properties that they're spending money on.
Because the thing is with like those Marvel films, like it's been confirmed, like people have admitted that the directors, writers don't make the film, the studio do. The studio, they write the scripts, they direct the films. They're just there to stand around and get their name on it. Or they hire people not because they're talented, but because they follow a checkbox.
Yeah.
Yes, not a Marvel, but remember that Alec Baldwin movie that there was an incident and the person hired who got killed?
Oh, Rust.
Like there's
right.
Yeah. The person hired was not that talented. It was she was hired because it was a marked a checkbox. And they weren't the most talented because she worked on another movie and Nick Cage yelled at her saying, "What the hell are you doing?" Because she was fucking up. and you don't mess with Nick Cage. So
Apparently not. No.
he was right. So people have to realize it's about talent, not about how many good notes on Twitter and all this stuff you get with all the woke brigade.
It's like all their screenplays are like written by an AI program.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Like
there's no vision. Like back in the
Mhm.
70s and even in the 80s to some degree, like directors had a vision of what they wanted a movie to be like, what they wanted the audience to experience. There's no vision to any of these movies. It's just like you said, like they got a checkbox of like you got to have legacy characters come in, you got to have fucking songs from the 70s, 80s at some point, you got to have this many explosions, this many fight sequences, this many and it's like they just go down the list of that shit, and that's what the movie is, and that's why it always sucks. None of those movies, man, I've never gotten anything from any of those movies. Like where I sat down and was like, not the Marvel ones anyway. Like I've never one time sat down in a Marvel movie and come away with it like feeling something, emotional from those movies. Not even the stupid fucking finger snap Thanos-y one. Like whatever. Like, not even that. Speaking of not getting anything out of any movies. So there's been, and speaking of Disney, there has been a new slate of Star Wars films announced. And these films will be directed by the following people. James Mangold is going to direct the first one. David Filoni is going to direct the second one. And Sharmeen Obaid Shinobi. Remember that game? That was an awesome fucking game.
Oh, yeah.
Shinobi. Yeah. The ninja with the throwing stars. That's not who's directing that movie, but I'm just saying that was an awesome game. So Mangold will direct the film that takes place with a new Jedi Order 15 years after the events of the Rise of Skywalker. And it'll also star everyone's favorite, Daisy Ridley, as back as Rey. So we've got that to look forward to.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's the one that stars her? But if it takes place that many years ago, how is she in it?
I don't make the stories, Matt. I'm just reading them.
Is that the one that's like a biblical epic? Someone describes like it's going. Fuck. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. James Mangold will direct a story about the first Jedi. Dave Filoni will direct a film about the war between the Imperial remnants and the New Republic. And the Sharmeen person will direct a film about rebuilding the New Order 15 years after the events of the Rise of Skywalker, which will also star Daisy Ridley as Rey. Here's a quote. We came up with an incredible story about the dawning of the Force 25,000 years before, Mangold said of his feature. Yeah.
It's always quoted as an incredible story.
25,000 years before. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
There's one iota of fuck on Uncle Bill's forehead. That'd be one more than would ever be there. I could just see how much you care one bit about this.
Hold on, wait. There's more.
There's more.
Filoni's film will be set just before the events of Star Wars The Force Awakens. And he began working on Star Wars Universe on the animated Clone Wars series under George Lucas's dumbass, and recently has been shepherding the Disney Plus series with Jon Favreau. So, with the Mandalorian. Several other Star Wars movies are in various stages of development, including a live-action film by Thor Love and Thunder director. Because he needs another project.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is going on at Disney? Release dates for these new Star Wars films have not been announced yet, but you can view the Star Wars timeline if you go to any fucking website ever right now.
That answer your question. Desperation. They're losing money. They think Star Wars will make it, and it's desperation. So let's get as many Star Wars out as we can, hoping that all those fans or fanboys or whatever will eat it all up.
And they will.
Yeah, and they'll make sense out of stuff that doesn't make any sense, which is what like a lot of these people do very well. Like they contort all these stories to where it actually like tries to make it make sense when it really doesn't. What do you think about the idea though? These movies are supposed to be going back and forth in time, like to different eras, I guess, of this, rather than it just being like, you know, kind of a moving along kind of story thing.
Well, they did such a piss poor job doing that in the first place with these new sequels. I mean, they, whether you liked or disliked Star Wars in the past, they kill off Han Solo. They threw him in a trash like he was a bag of trash. Luke
Trash.
Skywalker died. He faded away like a battery. He ran out of juice. Terry Fisher died in real life.
Well, goddamn it, Matt, that ain't her fault. Like that ain't, she just fucking died. I get the other two, but like,
But like you kill like the other. It's such piss poor stories, and no one cared about these new movies. So I don't even know why they want to do future ones. They think people. I have no. It's dog shit. The new Star Wars films are a bunch of piss and vinegar. It sucks. The new Star Wars films suck. Back in the day, I said Force Awakens sucked. And people were like, "Oh, you gotta wait for the new ones." Yeah, and they got worse, and they sucked even more. They had
That's the same shit
in the
that
third
people
one.
said. That's the same
Fucking
shit that
space
people said.
horses.
Back when
Space
Phantom
horses.
Menace came out, they said the same thing. Like when Phantom Menace came out, people were like, "Oh, you got to wait for Attack of the Clones. That's going to be the fucking one that blows your brains out." And then those movies suck balls. And then I watched The Force Awakens, and I was like, "Okay, at least they took it in like the general direction that they were not at all going in with like those past three movies." And then like the next two came out, and I was like, "Holy Lord!" Like they got no idea what they're doing. Like they have no earthly idea what the hell they're even doing.
So you did
And
see those.
unfortunately, yeah, I ended up actually getting to watch them.
So what were your thoughts on each of them? Because you, of course, you guys, you talk horror, you don't talk about this stuff. What are your thoughts on each of those? Last Jedi and like each one, what are your general thoughts on each?
Let me say this real quick.
Okay.
Sorry, UB, but I just got to get this out. I fucking hate Star Wars. So I don't have anything to say good
That's
about
like
it. So
Jesus.
I mean, I've seen the original trilogy years and years ago, and I'll never watch them again. Yeah,
I was not.
I've seen bits
expecting
and
that,
pieces
Mark.
of
Like, I
like
gotta tell you.
the other stuff, but I can't make it more than 5 minutes. So go ahead.
That just, I don't know.
The
that just-
badge you should have like Star Wars with an X on it. Just
Or this
I feel like that's like heresy, Mark. Like to say that amongst like the people that, you know what I mean? Like fan people, like that's like heresy.
Well, I never thought George Lucas was like.
I agree with
People-
you. Like,
People
to a
think
point.
he's like a second coming. Well, not everybody, but mostly like Star Wars fans. To my knowledge, he didn't even write like the second or third one, did he? It was somebody else.
Oh no, he didn't. I don't think he wrote or directed any of them except the,
Right, the
first
first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
and then the three prequels.
Oh well,
he
I don't
directed.
talk about that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
and I haven't
God
even
damn
seen
it.
them all the way through. Yeah, it's just like, and then people, oh, American Graffiti, fuck American Graffiti. I'll go watch Dazed and Confused. That's a better version of the movie right there. Like,
God.
I'm
Really don't like George Lucas.
no, I don't. Like,
What about
people
Howard
call-
the Duck, motherfucker? What about that one? What you got to say about that? I think he did write that. He may have directed.
But
it, I
even
don't
with
know.
that, like, I mean, it's still, I never been into anything he's ever done. So yeah, you go ahead.
I can't even remember what the question was now. That's just taking me for a loop. No, the question was like, what did I think about the last couple of Star Wars movies?
Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, the two after Force.
So, like I said, Force Awakens was one of those movies where when I saw it in the theater, the experience of seeing it in the theater, I think made it better than what it actually was. And then I went back and watched it again and realized that it wasn't as good as I thought it was, but it was still a whole hell of a lot better than the next two movies. Because what ended up happening is And the reason why I don't like either one of those movies is they systematically took all the characters that you liked and made them into characters that you didn't know, like the Skywalker shit. And it's like all of the stuff he did in that last movie was shit that he would not fucking, well, at least not like from the original movies would fucking do. Like it didn't make any sense. Like his character was completely different. Like everything about it was different. And I just hated the way that they went about doing that. Like, I don't know.
No, I agree 100%. Instead, you had to give Luke with little blue titty milk or something. You had to show scenes of that. Milking sea alien animals, but now work on a script. We have a little boy brushing a broom with his mind that for some reason is in there that never goes anywhere because that guy's an idiot.
And so,
the director,
I really enjoy the first three. And when I say the first three, motherfuckers, I don't mean the prequels. I mean the first actual three in the trilogy, like the 1977 Star Wars and then the others. I enjoy those movies. Still to this day, even though like they've done everything they can to destroy those movies, from like adding the stupid CG stuff into them, which I hate, to like, the who shot first nonsense. So there's all that. I will fight anybody that says that those fucking prequels are worth anything. I will fight you to the death. The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and I don't even know what the last one was. What was the last one?
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. They all suck my ass. And then The Force Awakens is okay. And then the last two, Last Jedi and the fucking Rise of the whatever.
Skywalker.
Yeah, they all suck. That's my and if I'm being honest, like I think the same way about Star Wars right now as I do about Scream and Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all those other franchise movies. They need to fucking die. They need to go away for a long time. It's like when a wrestler's been out there for too long, right? Like, and people just get bored of, like you just
so it's Ric Flair.
It's Ric Flair. Star Wars is basically Ric Flair or X-Pac. You're just like, Star Wars has X-Pac heat at this point, folks. Like, people just don't even want to see it come around anymore. They don't fucking even want it to like come out.
I would say Ric Flair heat because I never understood X-Pac heat because I was never tired of him. Maybe because I wasn't around. Ric Flair heat I agree with because that guy is like 90 years old and he's still flare flopping on his face. He's got 85 scars on his face from all the like cuts upon 18 other cuts on his head. It was like a checkerboard or something. Like
it's still not as bad as Devon's
like
forehead.
Which one?
Brother Devon.
Yeah, Devon Dudley.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and let's get some comments real quick. This is so killer. The Star Wars is lame. Years ago, I tried to watch it. You've really brought out some of the people's honest opinions, Mark.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Taking the mantle from the original characters in the worst way. Yep.
Yeah.
Afro Well says he's all for purple titties. They don't bother him. That's good to know.
Not for me.
And this is exactly the truth. And most old fans hate Lucas since we can't watch the original trilogy without the crappy additions that he made. I've still got the fucking VHS copies in there. So I will continue to try to watch shit any way I can that don't have that stupid walking around aliens.
Yeah, people mentioned the despecialized versions. If you're able to find them, they're definitely worthwhile. Yeah. Because it's just the old versions, just HD, but no changes. Because fans did that because they didn't do it. So they took the old films and just cleaned them up. No, that's it. Why they can't do that officially? I think at this point, George Lucas put in a contract not to do it just out of spite. Because, so many people made fun of him. I can't think of any other reason.
I
Because
wouldn't put it
Disney
past
owns
them.
Fox. Disney owns the movies. They own Fox. They would make a ton of money. Today, if they said, we're doing a 4K of the original versions, that would be the biggest selling 4K Blu-ray in the longest time.
It would. They would make a goddamn fortune if they did
That's
that
true.
too.
So there has to be
People would
something else
lose
to
their
it.
mind. It's just him, man. He's just such a douche and such a dumbass at the same time. George Lucas, I mean. Bobby's got another super chat. Disney Star Wars films, ID42, and those type of bad movies are the Alien 3.
Yeah, for me, especially. Yeah, all those sequels are just absolute dog shit. Just like Alien 3's dog shit.
Afterwell says I'm right.
Does
They
need to die.
need to die.
Many franchises need to die. It's the
Star
problem.
Wars fans are the most abused fans ever. You remember when this was a thing too? People actually ran around saying this for a long time.
Yep.
George Lucas raped my childhood. What's up, old Curly Jaws resurrection? The resurrection of Curly Jaws. Oh God! All right, so let's transition off of Star Wars because I know that Mark's head's going to fucking
So
explode.
what do you think of the new stuff? Like you mentioned those new stuff. Like obviously,
Oh, the
don't
new
get
movies.
rat's ass. Yeah.
No, I don't even think I'll go see those movies at this point because I've never seen The Mandalorian. I've never seen Rogue One. I've never seen any of the spinoffs of anything that came out after like the movies. I don't have any interest in Star Wars anymore. Like they have done their best to just fucking bash you over the head with that to the point where I just don't care. I don't care. If it
I will say
wasn't for
this.
this, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if it wasn't
No,
for this, if it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't go see any of these goddamn Scream movies that came out, or the Halloween movies that came out, or the Texas Chainsaw movies that came out, or the fucking whatever franchise movies that came out. Like if I did not have to, I would probably never go see those movies because I never go to them and come out happy. Like it never happens. So same thing with Star Wars.
Yeah. I would say the only thing in the past, really since Return of the Jedi, which is ironic for those who don't know, I was born on the same day that film came out, Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
May 25th, 1983. The Mandalorian, at least the first season, it's worth a watch because it's just a Western type bounty hunter. Yeah, Carl Weathers in it, Gina Carano. I think that is the only Star Wars worth a watch because it's so separate. It's its own thing. It's like a Western in terms of the area it's at. So that's the only thing I think worth a piss. And now I heard they fucked that up, of course, because they screw everything up. Because apparently new season sucks. It always sucks. When they keep going, it always ends up sucking. I can't think of one franchise that kept going and was good. Can you guys think of one franchise that kept going and was actually good because they kept going?
Define kept going. Like what do you like? How long we talking?
Just
Like-
never ended.
Well, I mean, they never end. So that's the thing is that
Right.
is there one that, like right now, would you say a franchise that it's actually that's a good franchise? I can't see anything that really screwed it up. Not like Back to the Future trilogy or stuff like. With all this stuff, the X-Files got ruined, Star Wars got ruined, Alien, Predator, all this stuff. Is there one that has been ruined because they
Oh,
made
is there
another
one?
sequel?
Yeah. Yes, there's one I can think of.
Okay.
And it's only because of the director. That's the only reason this wasn't ruined, because he absolutely would not let it happen. And that's Twin Peaks.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That show went on. It didn't go on that long, but they did the I want to say revolution, but that's not the word I'm looking for. The where they redid it like in 2017 or 18 or something like that. And the studio wanted, of course, like for it to be one way. and for it to resolve a lot of like the issues that were in the original series, and like try to figure out a lot of stuff about Laura Palmer and like what happened and stuff like. And David Lynch was just like, no, he's like, I'll do this, but I'm not going to do any of this shit that you want me to do. I'm not going to like talk about any of that stuff. We're not going to resolve anything, and I'm basically just going to like do whatever I want to do if you want me to do it. And that's really the only way that you can do that. You can absolutely just not compromise. Like,
Yeah.
I got one.
what?
Yeah.
John Wick.
Well, depending, I don't think Rambo would agree with you on that.
I only said that to fuck with me. I was joking.
Holy shit! Don't get him started.
No.
I'm alone in that. I know.
Yeah, I still got to finish your video.
Dog piss on a dead guy's face. Give me a break. Jump out of a 4-story window, hitting a car, and he's acting like a sneeze. Playing Frogger on the streets. God.
No, I can't think of one. That was probably UB's answer was probably the best that you could probably come up with. I can't think of anything. Not off the top of my head anyway.
Are you ready for some more absolutely atrocious news?
Sure.
Bruce Campbell, who I've never liked. He was great in Evil Dead. As a person, he can go shit the bed. That rhymed, actually. Is scheduled to appear on Impractical Jokers for an Evil Dead spoof. They're gonna do a goddamn Evil Dead spoof of Evil Dead, of the scene from Evil Dead 2, which I think is the hand scene from Evil Dead 2, is going to be in an episode of an upcoming Impractical Jokers. He's going to be the guest host, because they do guest host now ever since the show started to suck and Joe left. If you want to watch
I've
it,
never seen.
Oh, go ahead.
I've never seen that show. Is it like Candid Camera? Is it like, or what kind of show is it like? Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, it's kind of like Candy. So basically, it's a group of friends that they give each other like tasks that they have to do to win rounds, and whoever wins the least amount of rounds at the end has to be punished. They have to do some sort of punishment, like give a presentation naked or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
or skydive or something like that. But if you want to watch the Impractical Jokers with Bruce Campbell in it, it's on True TV on April 13th at 10 p.m. I was just thinking, though, man, like, what the fuck won't Bruce Campbell do at this point? Like, he'll do that.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming, I'm hoping it's to promote Evil Dead Rise. Like, it could be like
Oh, yeah.
the only
Probably.
reason.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got something though.
Okay.
So amidst all the news for James Mangold doing the Star Wars thing, I saw that he's going to tackle Swamp Thing as well. And in fact, he's writing them both simultaneously.
Fuck me.
I can't help but think of how bad that could be. Given the state. Yeah. Because, I mean, like we said earlier, you're writing something that's going to be sliced and diced by the studio. I can't see him having complete freedom on that. I don't think it's a good idea to tackle it. Just leave it as is. It's not necessarily something. Go ahead.
Didn't they do a Swamp Thing show recently, like a few years ago? That was limited.
I'm
was
not
that
sure.
Man Thing, Swamp Thing? It was something like that.
But
it didn't last that long. It got canceled.
Yeah, I could believe it if it did get canceled. It's just
this is the only Swamp Thing that matters, ladies and gentlemen.
I had a feeling you might bring that up.
The only Swamp Thing that matters is the return of Swamp Thing.
How dare you diss Wes Craven like that?
This movie is amazing. I don't give a shit. I will defend this movie till the end. Like, this movie is awful but amazing at the same time. Anyway.
Yeah, 2019. 2019, there was a TV series. There was 10 episodes. DC Swamp Thing, and then it was gone. So,
Well, they
and
got to keep
Virginia Madison
trying.
was in it. And Derek Mears played Swamp Thing.
Well,
Probably
they did
Jennifer
give another
Beals was in
shot.
it too.
Oh wow.
I
Yeah.
can't. I'm trying to figure out how they would do a modern day Swamp Thing, like you know what I mean, in the style of like Joker. Like,
That's what
the
I'm
fuck do they
saying. Like
do?
it just I can't see it working out for the better.
Like a brooding Swamp Thing, you know, that just is just done with society. Maybe that would be maybe that would be how they do it. I got an idea. Here it is. So he's all like fucking just pissed off about pollution and
And
you
woke
know,
shit.
global warming and woke shit. Bud Light. He's all mad about because Bud Light cans keep getting stuck in his head, you know, where he's in the swamp. So he just, you know, comes up out of there and he's on a vengeance spree. And then they bring Heather Locklear back. And she,
Oh my
wouldn't that
god.
be killing? Yeah.
Are they gonna
He's
de-age her?
Yeah, they got to de-age her though, of course.
People won't know it's her if they put her in there.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing 4K is coming out from MVD too, and it does have like the Adrian Barbeau nudity version, so everybody get excited about that.
Nice.
But I don't know
I'll
about
take
it.
a pass.
I get what you're saying. I don't know how they would do that either.
Well, they did a TV show like 2-3 years ago, so I guess you could watch that and see how they did it. Lasts for 10 episodes. Yeah, 2019 it came out.
Was that animated
HBO,
or?
I think. No, live action.
Wow. Okay.
I think it was on HBO Max or something like that. Shows how popular it was. No one ever heard the damn
Nobody
thing.
has.
There you go.
Nobody's heard anything about it, man. Like fuck.
Anybody excited for more Stranger Things? Not season 5, but they're making the spinoffs and they're doing a cartoon or an animated version.
I'm about
So-
done. I'm good. I'm all
I
full.
figured that'd be the response.
I'm all filled up on Stranger Things too. Jesus.
Yeah, I think
seriously,
even
what-
the actors said that they were like ready to end it because it's just been going for so long, and it only intended to have like a 5-year run or 5-season run. So no more Stranger
When
Things.
was it over for you? For each of you, Stranger Things. When was it like they
I
crossed it?
mean, I've liked all the seasons, if I'm being honest. Like, and I've enjoyed the show all the way up to this point. But I think this last season was the one where they took everything in it and made a meme about it to the point where it just became like constant. You heard about it constantly, and I just got burnt out. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear anything else about it.
Mhm.
Like the Eddie Munson character and the fucking shit with, you know, all the stuff with the Master of Puppets is like nobody'd ever heard Metallica before, but
Mhm.
that fucking show came out. All of a sudden everybody's listening to Metallica. Like I just got burnt out. Like there's too many memes, too much shit on TikTok, too much stuff going around. Like it just too many shirts, the Hellfire Club shit. I'm
Mhm.
done. I just need a break.
Do you think it became The Walking Dead?
Yes,
too much?
It jumped into like just too much, like too much merchandise, too much everything.
I figured they wouldn't let it go. I mean, it's the most popular IP that they have. I don't know what else that they have that really makes them a lot of money. I guess maybe Squid Games or something, but I thought the last season of Stranger Things was probably the best. I never expected to see like all the stuff that they did put in there with like action shootouts and
I didn't either.
guys blowing stuff up. And I think actually, even Matt, if you haven't seen the last season, you might appreciate some of the action sequences in it. But overall, it's just been time like for it to end. I'm just ready for it to be done. And that doesn't mean that I'm hating it up to this point or that it's getting worse as it goes or anything like that. It's just time to wrap the story up, I think. And that's the problem with a lot of the stuff we've been talking about. Nothing ends. Like stories have an ending, but nothing ever ends.
Even The Walking Dead, like you mentioned, it's not over. They've got that fucking show with Rick and Michonne and shit, like the spin-off show. It's like,
yeah,
that'll never end, man. As long as they can squeeze a dime out of that show, it'll never end.
Mhm.
Wasn't Stranger Things they were getting to like 90-minute episodes and stuff like that?
The last
Yeah, but
season
yeah.
was, yeah.
That's why I'm
anyone-
like, bit much.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of 80s and 90s nostalgia at this point. I don't give a
Mhm.
fuck about it. Pretty soon it's
It's
going to be like
overload.
Creed and Nickelback nostalgia. People will be like, fucking going back to that in the early 2000s.
I wish I listen to Creed Nickelback every day, buddy. What if? What if?
Yeah.
That photograph.
Shit.
Nickelback every day, twice on Sunday, better than George Ludi and his bullshit.
Matt, this
Fuck
is
George
one
Lucas,
though.
but
This is one I say for you because I know you're excited about it.
okay,
I know you will be.
right.
Bad Boys 4 is coming out. And
You knew that was coming.
yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a new villain. Eric Dane is set to play the villain. Apparently, he's some fucker
That would
from
be Chris
Euphoria,
Rock.
which I don't know.
Chris
That'd be
Rock
so
is the villain.
killing. That would be so
That
killing
would
if they
be
did
great.
that. They should do that, man. That'd make $1 billion if he was like the villain
Oh,
in
yeah.
that.
He's all
Oh.
coked up like New Jack City, and he's like this crazy villain and just slapping Will Smith around. Martin Lawrence has to save him. I maybe see that movie, but
Honestly, though,
I don't.
do you have
Yeah.
any interest in seeing Bad Boys 4?
I know. I don't. I'm actually one of those few that actually likes the first three as fun, entertaining, escapism, action. Yeah, I mean it's Michael Bay, but I think that's Michael Bay's wheelhouse that he belongs in. Not, I think he fits that testosterone. It's not the smartest, but it's fun, just Bayism.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the third film I did like. The fourth film, no. I don't. Will Smith. Did I like as an actor? Yes. Did I like as a performer? Yes. Do I buy him as a tough guy anymore in new films? No. I mean, if you don't, do not get too much into it. If you're not going to do anything about your wife doing all this stuff to you, that you sit there and you smile and you act like nothing else happened, you're a wimp. You're Will Simp. That's his name from now on. Will Simp. How can I take you seriously as an action star kicking ass when your wife kicks your ass in the bedroom? I mean, how can I take you seriously in the future? How? I mean, I know you're separating the art from the artist, but come on, man. The guy, I liked him. It's not like he killed anyone. There's many people that have done worse stuff, of course. It's just like, come on, Will, like, get your balls out of your wife's purse, sew them back on, and stand up for yourself. Or otherwise, shove off. I
think it's pretty safe to say that anything with Will Smith in it at this point is box office poison. Like, I don't think people want to see him. And I don't even think it's like that they just they're done hearing anything about fucking Will Smith.
Mhm.
I don't think they want to have anything to do with it one way or another. Like, any impression you had of him was completely ruined after all that happened anyway. So it's like,
Yes.
he has no
definitely.
market value anymore really to do any of these movies. And who gives a fuck about Martin Lawrence? When's the last time you gave a shit what's going on with Martin Lawrence? When's the last time you heard anybody say, wonder, is Martin Lawrence going to do a new? You never heard that.
He was in a horror film recently, and no one
I was going
saw
to bring
it.
that up. I did see the trailer for that. It didn't look that good though.
No, it wouldn't. I would imagine. No. Yeah, he was banned from the Oscars for 10 years, although he assaulted a person on stage and got an Oscar like 5 minutes later. So
Mhm.
I don't know what that says about the Academy Awards, really. I just thought it was funny that they're even doing another Bad Boys. Like, I don't know how the hell they plan to make that work, but Godspeed to them for trying.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody that wants to throw anything out there can, because I've only got a couple of stuff left here.
Sure, I'll throw in. Someone mentioned before that there's a Faces of Death remake coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the plot is a female moderator of a YouTube-like website whose job is to weed out offensive and violent content, and who herself is recovering from a serious trauma, stumbles across a group that is recreating the murders from the original film. But in the story prime for the digital age and online misinformation, the question faced is, are the murders real or fake? How do you do a remake of Faces of Death when the whole point of it was people at one point thought it was real? Like that was the whole gimmick. So how do you do a remake even with this plot?
It's
Like,
a
wasn't that the
horrible
whole
idea.
point?
We were talking about name recognition earlier. Is anyone besides a few insane horror fans going to go actually see Faces of Death, a remake? Let's be realistic. And I also read like that Legendary Pictures wants this to be a franchise. I don't know if you saw that part, Matt. They're hoping
Not that part.
they're hoping for a franchise
go
with this.
How?
Your guess is good as mine. I have no idea.
But even if you're a fan of the original film, what are you getting out of this as a remake? What are you getting out of it?
A bad movie.
That's a good question though, really, because like the only purpose of Faces of Death or any movies like that was just to kind of like try to shock people, trick people into thinking that it was real.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have to rent it just to see like, oh my God, like what went on, what was it? But everybody knows they can't do that shit now. So what would be the point? I'm confused.
Other than how Mark said name, but like Witchboard, what is not like a big name recognition. I guess it's just nostalgia and the YouTube audience where people react and do the thumbnails see it for the first time.
Yep.
Maybe the appeal to that generation that are going to stream it and this is the scariest movie ever. Reaction for YouTube. Maybe for that.
I'll have people fainting in the fucking theaters and like they did with Terrifier 2, taking pictures of it and everything, throwing up.
Yeah, in the last 5 years, just the remake trend, they're just grasping at anything. Like that's like the damn like Flatliners remake. Did anybody care about that or ask?
Did they actually make a Flatliners remake?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! See, I don't even know, man. Like I don't even.
Jacob's Ladder remake, like they did that too. Like, just why? No one.
Don't get me started on that movie.
I gotta hear your thoughts now. You probably go ahead, please share.
Yeah, if you watched it, yeah.
It's like the Hitcher remake where everything that made the original work, this did the opposite. It just took everything that meant something, just completely did the 180 opposite of.
Matt, I'll let a lot of shit slide. I will let a lot of shit slide on this show, but don't you dare come in here and talk about Sean Bean from the Hitcher remake.
Sean the Beanie Baby ain't nothing in that movie.
Man was a fucking pure force to be reckoned with in that movie.
That Hitcher remake took everything the original did right and said, let's have a girl with barely clothes on with a shotgun, slow-mo with their explosion behind her. Like, now that's Michael Bay. It's just, we need a car chase with 9-inch nails. I'm gonna fuck you like an animal playing in the background, because that's what the original Hitcher was missing. The 9-inch nails closer song. Give me a break and a half of whatever your old curly jaws is smoking in the chat.
You don't want that shit. You go fucking blind. Like, I swear to God.
Because that's what they smoked on the Hitcher remake.
Listen, old curly jaws he went beyond. He's on shrooms and shit now. He's in some other dimension right. God knows what he's doing as we're talking right now. He's probably talking to the fucking Smurfs or something. Like,
talking to the keyboard.
Yeah, he's saying, yeah. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, Anthony.
What's up?
Anthony's been busy lately. He's been playing the Resident Evil 4 remake a lot. That just came out, and that game looks fucking amazing too, by the way. I wish I was into video games anymore and knew how to play them, but I'm just too old for that shit now.
Yeah, on a side note, I've been playing more in that. I'm enjoying it more and more. I'm like 6, 7. Now it's at 8, and it probably get higher. It's enjoyable, yeah. And you save all the money not watching this awful crap and get a game. Just get the game. Don't worry about this awful movie shit in theaters that costs $20 a ticket. Don't go see Stream 6 and Stream 7 and.
I have to because we have to review this stupid shit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't go see it. Old Jenna Ortega's dumbass.
Make CK pay for it.
If this is true, if this story right here is true, then this will be one of the funniest things that I've heard. So Gary says that there's a Fatal Attraction TV show coming.
I saw the trailer. I was going to bring that up too.
Oh, there's a trailer.
Yep. What the fuck? There's a TV show.
There is, starring Joshua Jackson.
Is it the plot of the movie?
Yeah, it's the plot of the movie, but like over a span of episodes.
So it's like a Lifetime channel.
Pretty much, yeah.
So she's just going to be like, every episode is just going to be, I'm in your room. You ain't getting rid of me, bitch.
Well, I mean, it's funny because like the damn trailer starts with she's already dead. And it's him in a courtroom talking. Well, yeah. I mean, well, you know, she dies at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler for anybody that hasn't seen that 40-year-old movie.
Right. So, yeah.
It's supposed to be a sequel to the movie?
I guess it's going to be like a non-linear narrative. That's what I gather from the trailer. I could be wrong, and maybe they were just showing a scene like from something else that was like to come later. But the way it was put together, it looks like it's a really bad idea. I'll just say it. I can't even get why they would think that it needs to be done today. Another pointless remake or reimagining, if you will.
I mean,
it's like that Friday.
Every fucking episode's a different. She's hiding somewhere else. Now I'm in the trunk of your car. I'll fucking kill you.
This time I killed your goldfish. Next episode I killed your cat. Now this time I kill your rabbit.
Going through all the pants in the house.
Yeah.
I guess it found like that Friday 13th prequel TV show. Like they're just doing all these TV shows now which that's going to be worth nothing either. Why we need a prequel to show what happened to Mama Voorhees?
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a shit?
Same thing with the Welcome to Derry show. The It prequel.
Oh, yeah, the prequel to It.
Mm-hmm. Just more pointless stuff.
Why are they doing all this, man? I don't know.
Because they see success of shows like The Walking Dead and Stranger Things, and they want that success, and they think this will be that success.
The storyline can go so far unless he meets a new crazy woman every show. That would be. I would actually watch that if that was the show. Like he meets somebody crazy every show, he's got to fight them off. Like that would be amazing.
It'd be like they show The Hitchhiker, like he's hitchhiking. Every one time he picks up is a new crazy lady.
Yeah,
just some other crazy.
And then he's got to like escape death from him somehow or another. Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. So one or two last little bits of things that I've got. I just thought that this was fucking hilarious for some reason. But this is the kind of artsy fartsy stuff that I hate in life. Timothy Chalamet or whatever his damn stupid name is, will do his own singing in an upcoming Bob Dylan biopic. So they're making, with the success of all of these musician biopics, including like the Freddie Mercury one and Elvis one that just came out. Yeah. Right. So now they're of course got to put out a Bob Dylan one. I think that'll be the funniest shit. There's no way I'm going to be able to not laugh to hear that guy come out and be like, Hey, the times, motherfuckers, gonna bottle wine up in your ass. That that's how he'll be doing it too.
Oh yeah,
Like he's gonna be. It's gonna be
terrible.
so killer. I can't wait for that movie to come out in fucking tank. It's gonna be amazing. Any thoughts about Bob Dylan though, other than the fact that that's a
No, it's
no.
I mean,
That's
you
being
summed it
made
up
for
right
hopeful.
there.
That's being made for hopeful Oscars. That's the only reason. He thinks if he sings it his own, somehow they'll get him an Oscar somehow. I would
Yeah,
bet money
I'm
on it.
positive he probably believes that playing Bob Dylan in this movie will probably get him an Oscar. And meanwhile, it's going to be like Cats. I fucking guarantee it. It's going to be as cringy as Cats. He's going to be on there just like, sound like my weed eater when I started up. Timothy Chalamet's goddamn weed eater singing.
I'll be honest, you'd be a better Bob Dylan than this guy, Timothy.
I'll do
Just
it.
get you to play Bob
Pay me $30 million. I'll sure get on there and be like, once upon a time, he goes fine. Didn't you? I'll sing the
Fat
shit out of
money I
some Bob
pay.
Dylan. But that's
Fuck
all I
yeah.
had. That's all I had for stories.
I got a couple more. If anyone is actually still watching American Horror Story,
Oh Christ, I heard this too.
be excited. Kim Kardashian is going to star in the new season.
That's how you know that show is fucking dead. They should bury that show. They should have a memorial service for that show. Send flowers and make potato salad because that fucking show is dead. Deader
Yeah.
than disco.
At one point, I was into the show. Like, I liked the first season, and then every other season I'd pop in, see what was going on. There were some that I missed. But I think the last one that I actually gave a real legit chance was the 1984 one, which was like the slasher season.
Yeah.
But man, what the hell is that about? Are we just not hiring actors anymore?
I think it's got to be just about the idea of getting some buzz because that show's been so like just there's been no buzz around that show. So just having Kim Kardashian in it, automatically people are like, what? And then it gives it at least like attention. But poor old Emma Roberts, man. What the fuck happened to Emma Roberts? Like she was set to be a fairly big star there for a while, and then not so much anymore.
Yeah, after Scream 4, like I can't remember the last like thing I saw her in the theater. Like that was the last theatrical movie for me.
She's not a bad actress either, is the sad part about it, but she just doesn't get anything. Can you imagine though sitting around and watching Kim Kardashian just try to act?
No.
Imagine how bad that'll be.
Well, we saw her best performance with Ray J, so I don't think we need to like go any further.
Yeah, that's true.
Last thing, well, second to last, Dead Ringers. Anybody gonna watch that? There's a series for Dead Ringers.
Oh, God damn it. Shut up, Mark.
I figured you want to know, UB. I know you're.
They're making a series for Dead Ringers. They need to just shut down. They need to shut down Hollywood.
And the trailer is out now for your entertainment.
I'm going to go watch it immediately, and then I'll probably like cry.
Shit.
Oh. Everybody,
but wait, there's more.
Everybody needs to get their money ready for Skinamarink, the Blu-ray.
Did you see?
It's dropping, and it's got something that is must see, or maybe must hear: a commentary track with the director and the cinematographer, as if the movie actually had one. Come on, how I might actually. I don't want to buy it. But I want to hear what the hell. No, I won't. But like somehow I need to find out. Like somebody needs to rip the commentary, put it up on YouTube.
Oh God!
I want to hear what the hell he was thinking. The cinematographer
like
as well.
5-year-old.
They point the camera at the toilet, the carpet. Oh my god, that movie.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw
Jesus.
this or not, but like a comment that I posted is like the top comment on where it's like Dawn of the Discs, where they announced that movie's coming out.
No.
This is so killer. I posted a bunch of stuff, but one of the things I posted was if you like late night bingo, all the excitement of late night bingo, then give this movie a shot. And then somebody posted after that, "Come on, man, don't do late night bingo like that." Oh
Getting the
god,
bingo fans upset.
yeah, like that movie is just I kind of agree with you. I would just like to. I'm not going to buy that movie. There's no way in hell, but
No.
I would like to hear like the cinematographer, or whatever, explain himself in any way to that. Matt says, "Here's the explanation that sleep. They finished the film without me."
That's great.
Oh my god, get a rank. Well, Matt, do you have anything else? Because I am completely done. I think Mark's out.
I'll mention a few stuff. They're still doing the Toxic Avenger remake because the director came out and the one thing he said is, "We got a scene. It'll be called Butt Guts."
I
What
saw
that
that, yeah.
means? I guess we'll.
I mean,
know
it
what
sounds like
means.
trauma. Yeah.
You guys have talked about the Creep Show Blu-ray and the Creep Show 4K bundles, and you pay $50 for a couple pens or a couple condoms or whatever the hell is in the fucking package. Fucking Steam
not a bad idea.
Factory.
That's their next idea. It's like condoms with
Of all the films you have, fall films you have Blu-ray Creep Show with haunted hot dogs. That just great. It's terrific. It's fantastical pandemonium bullshit. Creep Show Blu-ray. Of all the films, they don't even have a DVD, and that gets a fucking Blu-ray. Why? I don't know. We talked about the X-Files reboot ideas. Ryan Coogler, who did Creed, because Creed was such a crappy movie, so might as well keep going the crap attitude of X-Files detriment, and it'll be more diverse, because that was what was missing with season.
That's what I was
reboot
looking
and
for.
revival was
More diversity.
that was what was missing. The one thing.
At the end
Speaking
of
of
that
video
season, I was like, God damn, I wish we had more diversity in this and made it a lot better.
There's going to be, speaking of video games, there's a Minecraft movie being made. I don't know how the hell you make a movie out of that, where it's just people making blocks or whatever the hell happens in that game. And it's from the director Napoleon Dynamite. That director is doing it.
Nice.
As stars Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa.
God, he's going to be in something else too. What else was he going to be in? Like, it was something stupid as well that they
Roman
shoved
Reigns
him in.
biography.
Yeah, that would be so awesome.
I think it's Fast X, right?
That's right. Yeah, they shove his ass
Yeah,
in
he's the
Fast
villain.
X.
Did pit on the rope for Fast X. There you go.
Oh, that'd be
You're
great.
so confused. You would be so confused as to what the hell. CGI Paul Walker.
You guys should do that,
and-
honestly. That'd be a great idea.
That's not a bad idea, really.
I mean, I'm sure you guys haven't kept up with any of the other ones.
No,
but
I haven't watched any of them except like the first one. I don't
just
think.
so you know, full disclosure, in the last movie, they drive a car into space.
That's
Just keep
great.
that in mind.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. That literally happens in the movie.
Oh, I believe you. You can tell me
Not
anything
wrong.
about those movies. No,
It's a horrible film.
For all you superhero fans, there's the Blue Beetle, where the last line is from George Lopez saying Batman's a fascist. So George Lopez in a trailer for a new DC movie is like, hey, you know that guy like Batman? He's a fascist. And it looks like generic crap, like a lot of superhero films, generic crap. You know it's great for a superhero when they see a bus coming, and instead of stepping left or stepping right, they take a minute to form a shield and cut the bus in half while staying there in the middle of the road.
That's
could've
never
just
happened
turned
in a
walk-
movie before, by the way.
No.
Yeah. And so I mentioned, the Crow remake. The Pennywise himself, Bill Skarsgård, is starring it. Apparently got made in secret, and they're gonna release it somehow. So it did get filmed. Guy who played Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård, is the new Crow. Because we haven't had. I mean, it was bad enough with Edward Furlong. Like, doesn't that tell you to stop doing it?
So what
Look
you're
at his
telling me?
face. Yeah.
What you tell me is basically like Hollywood has become like an old woman just shitting diarrhea onto a screen.
That sounds about right.
I'm just utterly confused by the stuff that they put out, man. I'm
You're not
completely.
alone.
I feel like that they really are panicking at this point because like the Marvel movies aren't making as much anymore, so they're just kind of like, oh
Mhm.
shit, we've got like, and they have no idea what they're doing. That's what it seems like.
It's the biggest issue with me is like, why are they doing the Eric Draven story again? Like, that's been done already. Why not do something else? There's so many Crow stories that they can adapt, but do Flesh and Blood or Wild Justice, Waking Nightmares, do any of the other ones, but they keep like going back. They tried that with the damn TV show. That didn't work. Nobody liked that. And now they're doing it again. It's just more of the same. Do a different story out of the Crow books. Like, there's other stuff to do.
Can't do different. Must
And his fiance
stay
is
the
played
same.
by a woman. His fiance is played by a woman literally called FKA Twigs. That's a name for musicians now.
Right. I did see that. I saw that a while back. Yeah.
What the hell does that even mean, FKA Twigs? What's her son, Branches?
Yeah.
Her husband,
Hold
Leaf?
on. We got another super chat. Bobby's got another super chat coming in. He says, "Why can't a War of the Monsters movie be made?
Surprised they haven't. They're doing a Crow reboot and Phases of Death and fucking every other superhero movie. Blue Beetle. Who gives a fuck about Blue Beetle? But they're making a movie of that with George Lopez.
Hey, Holmes, it's Blue Beetle, man. Listen,
It's a damn American. I taste Spanish. I play the bee.
Mama suck it to me, try to tell me how to live. Yeah. At this point, the way things are going, they'll have a fucking Bad Dudes movie out soon. They'll just adapt like every fucking NES game. Have like anything.
You two need to star in that.
Bad Dudes.
The Southern Bad Dudes.
Yeah. Have Ninja Gaiden and fucking just all kinds of stuff.
I would see that. You guys were in it, I'd see it.
Speaking
Bill
of
Skarsgård.
Speaking of which, I don't know why that reminded me of this because I bought a couple of ninja movies from there, I think. But Kino's having a wonderful sale right now over at Kino Lorber if you want to like buy a bunch of cheap Blu-rays and or 4Ks. And Enter the Ninja was one that I bought, as well as Revenge of the Ninja. And they've got all kinds of stuff over there. And also, MVD is having a sale on Blue Underground titles right now. So, and that shit is super cheap. So if you want to get any Blue Underground Blu-rays, go over there. That has nothing to do with anything. I just thought I'd mention it.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check that
Better
out.
news than what we've heard before in this whole 2 hour. It's the best news we've heard yet.
Well, you know, Matt, that's why we say no news is good news.
That's right.
So, yeah, I was hoping to get to about 2 hours on this, and we have, and it's been a shit ton of fun, man. I think that we should definitely bring this format back. We were going to do it bi-monthly. Do you think we should do it like in 2 weeks, or do you think we should do it in a month? Like, what do you think?
I guess it depends on like what new stories are coming out, like what's worthy of even being discussed or talked about, maybe. But I guess we could play it by ear and see what happens.
Yeah, so we will definitely. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, we need to see like how much newer kind of shit comes out between now and the next time we would do it. we'll keep everybody in the loop. It will be, I'd say we keep Monday at 10. That seems to be a pretty good time for people. And for all the people that showed up and supported this, which there was a lot of tonight, I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you for watching.
I wish I could have got to the chat more, but I'm not good at chats, if we're being honest. But
Any last comments on there?
oh,
maybe?
there's a lot. Yeah, hold
Oh, okay.
on. Megavania fan, which I've never seen. It says Contra needs an action movie. Why have they never done a Contra movie? They did Doom. They did fucking House of the Dead. Like, I think that they would easily do a Contra movie.
Yeah, you don't want Uwe Boll to get it though.
I don't think Uwe Boll gets jack shit anymore, to be honest. Tetris, TJ says Tetris the movie. I can't believe this is true. Was there a Tetris movie?
That's right. Yeah.
Tetris the movie was pretty good. That sentence just doesn't sound right in my brain. Just came out streaming about how the game started. Oh, okay. Well, if it's like a documentary or something, yeah.
That's sort of like what they're doing with the Gran Turismo movie. They're doing a movie on the guy who who's like a uber fan of the game franchise. He got into like a competition. I think it was a partnership between Sony and Nissan. And like if you drove like for them in like competition with the game and like you win, you get an actual shot at becoming a real life race car driver. And he did, and so they're making a movie about it.
Holy shit.
That's kind of an interesting way to do that. I mean, other than like something like how they did the Need for Speed movie, which was just like a generic like racing story. So that doesn't sound too bad. I might actually watch the Tetris one. And Gran Turismo.
Have either of us or any of us seen Extra Credit? There's a scene where the student is having sex with his teacher when the song is saying, I can't say that.
No.
I've never heard of it.
No. About the Toxic Avenger box set. I'm not paying $95 for that. I'm sorry. Like, that's not going to happen. They are currently releasing.
How many movies are there? 4?
No, let's see.
Isn't it 5?
Citizen Toxie was 4, right? And then they did.
Yeah.
And I bet is the cartoon a part of it too? I bet it is.
Probably.
So
it was in that big DVD box set years ago.
So I'm sure they added that as well too. That's just too much money for anything released by Trauma. I mean, it just is, and it'll go down like considerably soon if you just wait. But I am eventually going to get that box set. There's no doubt in my mind.
I'm just looking at what comes out 2024. It's fucking depressing.
It always is. Yeah.
I mean, sequel to Twister, really? Give me a break.
Right. That's what we need. We need a sequel to that. Deep Impact, Volcano, all those movies. So, yeah, guys, it's been a lot of fun. And thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Jostradamus, Preminator, Dark Metal Spider, Gary Blow, Megavania, Bobby Reynolds for the super chats. Greatly appreciated. Business of Fear, Patrick, TJ, Movie Junkie, John, who just sold like $350 worth of videotapes out from under me, you fucking dickhead.
Did he sell them?
He sold them to somebody who lived on his street or whatever.
Oh, wow. Damn, that was quick.
Made me mad.
I just saw that post.
Yeah, me too. Jostradamus, Business of Fear, Phantasmat, Afro, all these people that I've probably mentioned. There's a lot of them.
Wild Wrangler,
Sloan. We appreciate everybody coming out, and we will do this show. And I'll let everybody know through Instagram if you want to go on Into the Dead Pit. It's a good place to know about our Instagram stuff. If you want to head over to a Twitter page, we got that. If you want to go to the Facebook page, we got that. If you want to go to the Patreon page, there's that as well. You can sign up for Patreon while you're over there and give us some money. Yes, yes, indeed. But thank you to Mark, and thank you to Matt for helping me out with this for sure. Always appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I I guess until there's some more news, and it will be bad. No news is good news, guys. I will see you all later.
Later.
Give us the thumbs up,
Up you butt.
like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do. Or
I
don't.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on
No,
YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you
Yeah.
dare touch it.
Thumbs up, subscribe, and click that bell.
Hey folks, it's Oak Early Jaws. I might be banned off of YouTube, but that doesn't mean I can get you some great shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. First, we got Steve Benningfield post goes against our community standards in nudity or sexual activity. We got the deadpit.com shirt. We got Cardboard. We got L Lord. We got Tales from the Dark Side. We got Dead Pit. And we got a Princess Puffin shirt, boss. It doesn't get any fucking better. Brandon had the accident. Aww. But these shirts just get better and better, boss. You gotta go over to shop.deadpit.com and pick you up some shirts right fucking now. What are you fucking waiting for? Do it. Do it now, because old Curly Jaw said so.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.